Hey folks, Rob Kristen here with BPO REO Academy and Remax Elite in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Today we're going to talk about REO Asset Management Companies. REO Asset Management Companies are the companies that control selling foreclosures or short sales that banks or lenders hold mortgages on. These companies help decide what to sell the property for and handle the whole process, and they base their value off of a broker price opinion or BPO, which we've talked about in previous videos. These companies handle the entire process of disposing of the asset or selling the home. These companies do not work themselves, they actually outsource the work to realtors and other companies. So let's discuss, first of all, what all is involved with a foreclosure. So after the property forecloses and it goes to the auction, typically within a week or so of the auction, depending on the state, every state is different. I know that in Florida, where I live here, typically within a couple weeks, a realtor will be notified that they'll be listing the property, and then they'll have to begin their checks. The biggest thing that the bank is concerned with is preserving the property. I know up north, they worry about winterizing the property. Of course, here in Florida, we don't have that. So let's discuss a little bit in detail of what goes into preserving the property. So the first thing that goes on is the bank wants to make sure that the property has been rekeyed, so they change the locks on the house. They also want to make sure that the property's been cleaned out and all the trash has been removed and that the yard is taken care of. They want to make sure that the property is in good condition. So the company will actually hire a realtor. Once the realtor is hired and notified, hey, you're going to be listing this property, then the realtor, this is the typical process. So they go to the property, they're going to inspect the property, they're going to look for any damage, they're going to look at, the condition of the outside and the inside of the property. They're typically going to take photos of the inside and outside of the property, and then they're going to go back to the website and they're going to upload the photos, and they're going to upload some basic information. Is there a tenant in the property? Is somebody living in the property? Does the property have busted out windows? What's the condition? So typically this preliminary inspection will just be photos and just answering questions about the property. So after the bank is aware of the property and what's going to be needed to prepare the property for sale, then typically one of two things is going to happen. Some banks actually have their own companies. One of the largest companies is Safeguard, and Safeguard is a company that will come in and they handle the rekey, they handle the trash out, cleaning the property, they handle the lawn maintenance. Now those REO listings are very easy to work. However, on the flip side, there are companies that just let the realtor handle everything. So what happens is after the realtor inspects the property, the bank says, okay, we want to have the property rekeyed, we want to have it trashed out, cleaned, and the lawn maintenance. So at that point, it's the realtor's job to get 3 estimates for each area. The bank's going to go with the lowest estimate for all of those. And then the realtor will oversee this process. They will coordinate the repairs, and they will either negotiate with the contractor to accept payment when they receive payment, or they will have to put the money out of their own pocket and then be reimbursed by the bank 30 to 60 days later. So the biggest thing they want to check is if it's vacant or not. If there's somebody living in the property, then of course they have to go through the eviction process before they can start this. So what happens then is the realtor will either oversee all the repairs or the rekey, the trash out, or they'll oversee the company that's handling. So either way, the realtor is going to coordinate all these services. So once these services are done, the property is all cleaned up, then what will happen is the bank will ask the agent to perform a BPO on the property. That'll typically be during the repair process. So the agent will complete a broker price opinion, pulling 3 comparable solds, 3 comparable listings in the area, and they will notify the bank their opinion of value. Typically, a bank will order an appraisal at this time, and they'll typically order a second BPO. So they'll take the appraisal, the 2 BPOs, and they'll pretty much come up with what they want to list the property for. And then, once they have that, the agent will then send the listing contract to the asset management company. They will then sign it. These listings are typically, anywhere from 30 to 90 days, depending on the lender and depending on the relationship that the agent has with the REO Asset Management Company. And then once they have that signed and once all the work is completed, they list the property, and they typically sell. Usually, they like to see them sell in under 90 days, and most of them do unless there's some issues with them. But typically what will happen is if the agent doesn't sell it within the listing contract, then they'll typically list it with another agent. So that's why REO Asset Management Companies are very strict, and a lot of times the agent or broker is in no communication with them other than through the email. So there are a website. So typically they're not actually talking to anybody. It's all done by computer. There's actually some companies that do everything by the computer and you don't ever talk to anybody. So that's today's video about REO Asset Management Companies. I look forward to talking to you on the next one. Have a great day.